Με την ταινία I Am Breathing συνεχίζεται το πρώτο διεθνές φεστιβάλ ντοκιμαντέρ Αιγαίου Aegeandocs, με επίσημη προσκεκλημένη την davie. Στο ντοκιμαντέρ ο Νίλ, γράφοντας μέσα από το προσωπικό του blog, προσπαθεί να κάνει γνωστή την νόσο του κινητικού νευρώνα από την οποία πάσχει και να γράψει μία επιστολή για το γιο του, έχοντας μόλις 5 μήνες υπόλοιπο ζωής. Η davie είναι ανεξάρτητη κινηματογραφιστή στη Σκωτία και η καθηγήτρια σκηνοθεσίας στο Πανεπιστήμιο της Γλασκόβης.
If you're approaching the end of your contract and would like to discuss your options, press 4.
They go through the whole automated bit. Got to an operator. Hello, sir. I hear you're wanting to disconnect. Yes, that's right. Can I ask you why, sir? Because I'm dying.
So Neil was a friend of the co-director Morag McKinnon, who's a fiction filmmaker and was a good friend of mine. And she asked me if I was interested in making a film about Neil, because Neil wrote this incredibly articulate and honest blog, which he dictated by using his mouth because he was just paralysed from the neck down.
Right, sir. Would it make any difference if we just threw in 3 months extra free? At which point I shouted, if you can do that, sunshine, you get a better bloke than all my doctors put together.
It's a very interesting question of whether focusing just on the main character and not asking other people to contribute what they felt about him is a way of getting closer to him. We had a big challenge with this because actually we had the most fantastic footage of his wife talking about her experience of that time. But in the end, we decided that actually Neil's words were what had to hold the whole story, because actually the fact that he managed to speak was such an achievement for him, because it was all he could do. He couldn't move his arms, he couldn't move his legs. Speaking was everything that gave him the ability to reach people and to touch people. So if we gave that power of speech to someone else, it took away from his achievement in being able to speak somehow. So it was really important that the words were his.
Oscar. Hello. Oscar and Daddy.
No, we weren't there all the time. It was impossible because the family needed their own space, but also for us, I had a full-time job running a film department in Edinburgh University, so I couldn't be there all the time. But I think what allowed us to give the sense of really being so present at this really difficult period in the family's life was Neil's own words, which we incorporated very much into the film, his words from the blog, and I think without them the film would have been very different. I think people who don't appreciate documentary maybe haven't seen enough, because there are as many different types of documentary as there are people. And these days I think the really interesting filmmaking is in a kind of border area between documentary and fiction, where there are documentaries that are borrowing from fiction and fictions that are borrowing from documentary. And in a way, it's all just filmmaking. I don't think there really is such a sharp distinction. I think people go to the cinema to see a good film. They don't go to see either a documentary or fiction. I think, for example, with a film like Senna or Searching for Sugar Man, people just went because they heard it was a good moving film, not because it was a documentary. And I think sometimes people who are maybe programmers for cinemas and things like that worry about it more than audiences do. With our film, we were told by the cinema programmers in Britain that nobody wanted to see a film about a man that was dying. Well, actually what happened was that audiences wrote to the cinema and insisted that the film was on. So the cinema ended up taking the film. So I think there's all kinds of presumptions about what an audience wants. So I would just encourage people to find out for themselves.
Στο Ian Breathing, οι θεατές είχαν την ευκαιρία να συνομιλήσουν με τη σκηνοθέτη Emma Davie και να της κάνουν ερωτήσεις σχετικά με το ντοκιμαντέρ.